Scott will be here. He said he's doing something with the cross country this morning. He said he might be a few minutes late.
Okay.
He called me yesterday on that. So I know we will have a quorum. It might just be a couple minutes into it. Because he actually went out of his way just to call me and tell me that. Actually, he was looking for somebody that was on the float, kid's name. I'm like, I got no clue. They weren't mine and I'm not claiming them.
Asking about the kid with the tie-dye, the camel stuff on.
Oh,
I think that belonged to Elizabeth. That was her.
I couldn't tell you.
I didn't know his name, but I think that's who that was.
I didn't even, I just know we had kids on the float because they were squirting people. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, she did make it.
Any of you would speak to the committee, we have you sign up in the comment part and it's in
She her?
I will give it to the friends.
The one in the black, she's the one that asked about the pulling ivy.
Awesome. Yeah. That's just as we want.
Or you can ask them, let me look at it.
Yeah, you can do that, but it's not so.
That's
Yeah.
The best thing to do, ask them, we can just get there a little bit.
So I have to be polite.
Wally, I think you can answer that on your own.
I couldn't resist.
Oh, believe me, I struggle.
Interesting you bring that up. You'll notice there's a new media policy in your agenda.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, which probably put that on. I didn't put that on there. Did I put that
We'll
on
get
there?
to it.
I think you did. Maybe I did.
Oh, yeah, it's on there.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay. Are we live?
You are.
Okay, July 16th. Good morning. Please silence your cell phones if you haven't. Welcome to the July 16th Park Tree and Beautification Committee meeting. At this time, please rise for the call to order and the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And can we do a roll call?
Matthew Bechtel. Have you heard from him?
Say again?
Have you heard from Matthew at all?
No.
Okay. Lena Tucker, Nancy Patton, Deborah Northern, Wally Shreves,
Here.
Scott Swanson, which you said you did. So we have a quorum.
There's
Nope.
Matthew.
There's Matthew.
Sorry, just lost a pen. Okay, time reports. There's a sheet going around for the parade for this weekend. Please sign up for your time you were present. And then on the bottom, I added if you have additional hours, like I had building part of the float at home, put that on there. Additionally, if you have any other hours doing other work, make sure you get that into Angela. I found my pen. Thank you. Let's move on to public comment. I think the first one we might have is.
Minute. Oh,
Say-
yeah, sorry. Why this says public comment on there? The first public comment should be meeting minutes. I don't know why it's defaulting to public comment on your agenda.
Okay.
Is it
So go ahead and review the meeting minutes from our last meeting. I'll need a motion to approve and a second. Yeah, if you notice on the meeting minutes from our last one, we were missing Deb's vote in there, so it's a modification. It'll be put in.
I move for the minutes. I guess not.
I move we approve our minutes from our June meeting.
I second it.
I have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The meeting minutes are approved. Now that I read the entire agenda, I see the next part is public comments.
I don't know why it formatted that way. Sorry.
It's just to challenge me.
Mhm.
It's okay. Public comments. Do we have a specific order those are going to run in today?
Right now, there's just one right now.
Okay. This is the one and only Jeff Parker. I think you need to come up here to our
It's on.
wonderful microphone.
A long one. Good morning. I'm Jeff Parker, 1300 First Avenue here in Sweet Home. First of all, thank you so much for you guys spending your time being part of our system here and everything. I'm coming to the Park and Tree Committee with a request for a memorial bench to be placed at Strawberry Park off of Westwood. Our neighbor Roger Sherman resided at 1347 Westwood for 25 plus years and passed away this February. Sorry.
No,
Ah.
it's understandable.
He was an adopted grandpa to us and just loved the outdoors. He loved the park. He loved hearing the kids. And so we felt to honor him, this would be a great way to do it. Obviously, we would help out with the monetary portion of it. I know that Angela and staff have been looking into the cost that that bench would run. We are going to help with that. We'd also like to do the plaque itself, have my daughter make it, and then look at possible locations for placement of that bench to suit both viewing of the park and to not inhibit public works in any way as far as its placement and location. So, yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much.
I like the idea.
Thank you.
Quick question.
Yeah,
Would you like a tree by your bench?
that wouldn't be a bad thing at all. Again, making sure that Public Works
Yeah.
was okay with the species. Obviously, you guys would help pick with the species and everything like that, and something that's not gonna cause problems. I know that we have a newish community garden down in that area, so
Yeah.
he was a great gardener, and I know he would be quite furious with me if I put a tree to shade somebody's garden. So as long as it was in a great spot, I would be all for a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. So,
Great. Thank you.
yeah. Thanks again for your time. I really appreciate you guys.
Sure.
And
Thanks,
Jeff,
Jeff.
I'll get
All right.
back to you soon with the comparison.
Yeah, that would be
Mhm.
great.
Yep.
I think not the wood one like out front, but one of the other ones I think would be
Okay.
more suited.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other public comments? I'm going to take a moment at this time and thank the public for arriving at the Park and Tree meeting today. I've been on this committee. In this month is my 7th year. This is the most I've ever seen. So that gives you an idea. So I appreciate it when people come along to hear what we're doing and to listen, and you can yell at me out front afterwards.
Well, I just real quick, I don't know why this agenda formatted the way it did. The next old business, you see how there's 2 old business. The next
Yeah.
is supposed to be beautification committee.
Okay,
So I don't know why it did this.
so do we have any old beautification committee business? Sorry.
No, we didn't even meet this month
Right.
because, I met in June with myself, so. Yeah, we will meet in August, but we have some things to talk about then, but things are going pretty well, I think, all in all.
It seemed like you got some new volunteers. Is that correct? Or I thought I read that somewhere in something.
Sort of. I mean, when we planted in May, we had some new people, and then one person, Brittany, that was on the float with her kids, she's been helping. So
Okay,
we at least have one that's more of a regular. Yeah.
sure. So we still would like to help with the push then to get more volunteers.
go.
Probably, the big push will be again next spring when the main time is in
Sure.
May.
Yep.
It helped to have 20 people out there planting.
Yeah.
So that's the main time. Other times we just need, weeders, which the more the merrier.
Right.
So,
Okay.
okay,
So,
Thanks for being part of the float. That was
it was fun.
fun.
Mhm.
so Candy, that young man that had the camel on that's Brittany's son, correct? That was with your grandson?
Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
I think Scott's trying to find out what his name is, because he got a hold of me too, and Wally. I want to know who the
it's-
kid was on the float with the squirt gun and the camel on.
He needed it yesterday, so
Oh, yeah.
it's over that now. He had to publish, so he just picked another picture.
Yeah, I do have the volunteer registration and waiver forms I was gonna give to Angela. I had those on me during the float.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to get the volunteers to sign them as we go. It's hard because being a volunteer is different than being an employee, you just show up.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Okay,
I'd like to recognize that Candy was doing the parade and passing out brochures, and then I turned around and she was pulling weeds out of the median. So she was doing double duty. She said, well, it was right there, inconvenient.
yeah, it was closed off.
Yeah,
I couldn't
yeah.
help myself.
Yeah.
That's like Ashley, wherever we go, she has to pull a weed somewhere. I go, there's a weed. I see it's not on our agenda, but the old business for the float and being in the parade was totally awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just so excited for the council that showed up, the beautification that showed up, all of us that showed
Yeah.
up.
We'll
There's a
do
lot,
we'll
lot
do a
of work.
recap in our new
Oh.
business.
Okay,
Okay.
that's great.
Candy, if you want to email me the hours that you guys did, because it was kind of is that for the parade?
I have
Oh,
them right here.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
Awesome.
have per
You're on it.
hours.
Okay, right here.
Okay. So old business. Second one, ivy removal. The last one we did was during Arbor Day, and we cleared a bunch there in the main part of Sankey Park. That was a much smaller ivy pull than our previous one in Upper Sankey, where we went nuts for a day and made huge piles. Had a community member actually reach out wanting to do some ivy work as well. Is very familiar with the English ivy and all the problems that
She's actually here.
I know.
Mhm.
So I appreciate that. We haven't discussed our next date for our next ivy pull. And so my question is, if we were to do it something instead of just like we've done in the past with just the Park and Tree Committee, if we were to do a community event, what would that take? I mean, I want to get outside
Planning.
of, Well, there's always a rule or a law or. we
Well,
did
you definitely,
something.
I mean, we would have to notice it. And we can put out some information, since there's enough people now interested in it, we could put out some information. Granted, you need to choose a public property.
Yeah.
And so you just need to choose your location, a day and a time, and then we can send out information to do that. So,
Okay.
and then just, we can coordinate that.
We could,
Also
could
fill
have
out the
volunteer forms.
form. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and I some of them have already filled out volunteer forms. And just a reminder for those that want to do in the public that want to do the Ivy polls, when you fill out your volunteer form, bring it to me, but also keep track of your hours, and email me your hours because that counts toward, just volunteer hours. We keep track of that and we, report that to the city council of how many of our community members are helping with these tasks. So if any of you do help with that, just let us know and we'll make sure to let the council know that. So, but yeah, that's just, just some planning and then let us know.
Sure.
I would say, September, October, I would say try not to do that because we're leading up to Harvest Festival
Right.
and all of us are really busy within the few weeks before that. So
Right.
maybe
Okay.
avoid that time.
Yeah. I will, what's that?
August is so.
Yeah, and it's smoking hot. Unless we started at 6 in the morning, which
Mhm.
I would be okay with, but most people won't. I will ask our lead Ivy hater, Deb, to identify our next Ivy location, not right now, but figure out where it is we need to work at. And I'll introduce you to somebody in the back that wants to definitely get involved in this.
Excellent.
And we can take another hit at it. I went back and looked where we pulled, and it's made a very big difference. There's dead ivy hanging everywhere, so which is a good thing. So I want to keep going with that.
Well, and if I may, actually, one of the areas that they had brought up is Northside Park has ivy all over it. And so that was one of the
That's-
areas that they
we
brought up
haven't done that
about,
Down by the
removing-
river?
So that's another option,
Okay.
too. So
Maybe take a look.
I haven't gone out and
Yeah.
looked at it yet, but
I'll drive by there today on my way out and go
Mhm.
through.
I haven't got my stand yet this year, so I need to go down there anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a question. Is there a special way to dispose of it? I mean, can I put it in my yard debris can and that's okay? It'll be dead? Okay.
That's what you guys do with it, Craig?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm sure it goes to some sort of dumpster that goes to sanitation if we do remove it and haul it off.
Yeah.
We would take it right down to the sanitation.
Okay. Yeah. So it doesn't reroot on its own and grow. Is that right?
That's right. Although
Okay.
in the heat of summer, it's gonna just
dying.
desiccate.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Well, we will get that assembled, and I do like the idea of Northside Park, but I'll have Deb check it out and get back to us.
Okay.
And
Thanks.
Chairman, while we're on the subject too, instead of doing this in roundtable, I did print off, because there was so much interest on Facebook, I did print off the ivy removal.
Yeah.
So there's extras. So if you find somebody that is interested in ivy removal and doing it themselves, not on public property, on their own private property, Oregon State University has some great resources. So that's where I pulled this one from, and I'm just feel free to hand them out to them or let me know and I can send you the link to where I got this from. So
Sure.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, let's move on to Sankey Park Phase 3. I hear there's good news.
there is good news. And this week we get to actually start moving forward a little bit. So because we are trying to work with the Timber Framers Guild to do the bandstand, we had to go through city council for a special procurement. I don't know why I can't say that word. Because part of the community build is they need to be awarded. And so in our government procurement process, it goes out to bid. So we are going to bid out the trail portion of it, but we had to get permission to do a special procurement for the bandstand so that we could automatically award it to the Timber Framers Guild. So that was approved at city council. So our next step is working with them, like their architect on the design, and then they'll come up with a cost. And the biggest portion that once we get this rolling, and we get the cost, that has to go back to council for approval, for the contract part of it. Once we get that done, they will educate me on the whole community process. But one of the things we will do is start talking to people about supplies and materials. And there's other things like catering. There's a whole list of things that we bring together the community when they come and help do the build. So
Okay.
they actually stay here and it all gets done at once.
Huh.
And so there's a process to that. We've talked about it, but I don't know the whole timeline for it yet. And so when I do that, that's where you all will come into play, as we'll be talking to community members about either donations or, of materials or in-kind help. Now, granted, keep in mind that the actual construction of the bandstand will have to be done by professionals.
Yeah.
So, and professional volunteers can help,
Mhm.
but they have to be licensed for the actual structure itself. So, but they will, because they've done this all over the United States, they will actually get me the timeline and the instructions once we get to that point. We just had to make sure this got approved first. So good news. So
Exciting.
now we will put the trail part out for bid, and then we can start rolling on this. So finally,
Yeah.
finally we have some momentum. So we already have the design for the trail. That's 100% complete
Okay.
construction drawing. So it's just trying to get it out to bid, but we had to wait to see if we could separate them because the grant won't let us pull the bandstand out separately. So the grant still has to cover both. So we still have to list it all together.
Yeah.
But it was just getting permission to separate it as far as the bid was. So
And if I remember right, you said you did get the grant to extend us some time. Is that
I
correct?
will have to file an extension
Yeah.
in December. So the grant is up December 31st. And as long as we are making progress, I can file an extension in December and it will go till June. So we still only have until June
Okay.
to get it done. But talking to the Timber Framers Guild, they don't think that's going to be a problem as long as they can fit this in their schedule. Obviously, we have winter months that might not be so
Yeah.
conducive, but we can be working on other things depending on weather.
Yeah.
So, yep.
And does some of Greg's people count as professional builders?
Actually, Sean was in on the first meeting with me, and Sean actually is kind of excited to help. So it will kind of depend on, like I said, they're going to give me a list of what the community can help with and what they can't help with. And so eventually we'll get that all sorted out. But I know some of the public works crew, Greg might not know that, but they're excited to kind of be working on this project too.
Yeah.
So,
I'll bet, because it's been a while.
Mhm.
It'll be nice to finish a promise we made.
yeah.
Good.
So that's it. We are moving forward.
Yes,
It's slow, but we're getting there.
sounds good. Thank you. Weddell Bridge.
I do have an update from Cecily. So she is actually working, I think that's what she's doing today, on the historic designation
Okay,
of the bridge. So she's working on to get it filed as a historic structure.
okay.
So which could potentially help us with grant funding
Yeah.
to fix it. So
Right.
she is actually, that's what she's doing today. So
Yep.
is working on that.
I looked it over 2 weeks ago and I didn't notice any new extensive looking damage to it. I still see riffraff stuff
It's
going
just
on.
ongoing,
Yeah,
people climbing on it, a little bit of graffiti, trash. But we do have slow rotting on the southwest facing side. You'll see areas where you've got some rotting in the floor and also in the sides. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that'll be good if it's registered as a historical item. Just have to keep her from registering me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll keep you updated on how that progress goes.
Okay.
So how long's the bridge been there? My question is because I wondered why it wasn't ever filed for a historic structure before.
I'd have to go back and look. I have the documentation. Yeah, somewhere like that.
Yeah.
So part of it too is
Hopefully
it's
not
not
be-
in it's not in its
Okay.
original location.
Yeah,
It was moved from its original location, so I don't think anybody just had looked into it since then. I don't know before me. So we have been talking about this. There's pros and cons to registering something as historic, but I think in this instance, it will benefit us.
Yep.
So.
Okay, as we move forward, I had to get some conversation because I missed a meeting. July Covered Bridge Day. We've done that, we did that last year. And this year we were looking at doing it with a run. And if I remember right, Scott, you said it might,
thought maybe better and wait next year.
yeah,
We can plan it a little bit. Can we get you on your mic, please? Thank you.
But yeah, put it.
Hi. I was just saying that I think I recommended that we maybe want to wait till next year, although the routes that we planned out were almost exactly right.
Yeah.
But I did map them,
okay.
but I was just thinking about it. It would be a little bit, I think, dicey to try to just rush it in.
Yeah, I
You did
agree.
have it scheduled for July 26th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was our initial plan. And then I don't think we can get because we want to do the run involved with it. And I don't think we can cram all that together at the same time.
Well, we could get the cross-country kids to help put it together too, if we want, because we had 25 kids this morning. So, we got a lot of kids.
That would be great. Yeah. So we'll postpone that and it'll become a biennial event. Is that right?
Okay. So not this year then.
No.
Okay. I was going to tell you I couldn't be here. So if you had plans, you have to let me know ahead of
Oh.
time. So, okay. So postpone till 2026.
Yep. And we'll actually make it a good day versus something we just throw together at the last minute, which would still be a good day. But all right, let's move on to the health fair, which is our next event that's coming up.
Bob has registered us. It is on August the 16th from 9 until 2, I believe. Although it seems like we've kind of wrapped it up around 1 when folks kind of start dwindling. So we'll be set. We just need to grab a pop-up and our roll-up banner. I have appropriate goodies for the health fair, and then folks who want to come and hang out at the booth. Pretty easy.
Lena, do you have enough park maps still?
If you could print another, as you have time, throw like another 100 on the printer.
I just have to email Gateway. So that one's easy
Oh, okay.
because they have it already.
Does it matter if you do a big order, small order?
It's just cost wise. So how many do you think you need?
Yeah, maybe 100, and then we'll have some kind of stockpiled, and we can fold them too.
Good on that today.
So my question would be, who's going to be
I will
there?
be there.
I'll be there.
Full house.
All right, room house. Great.
Yep.
It's actually fun seeing all the things that they do there.
We typically meet about 8:30-ish to set up, but there's really not much to set up, just our pop-up and our table.
And it'll be neat this year to be able to talk about the run at Bridge Day next year at the health fair.
Yeah.
Try to start promoting some of those ideas a little farther out and get our public out and about doing things with us. Matthew's leading the run, I think.
With my car.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're good for the health fair. This is one of those we've done multiple years now, so it's kind of a regular role. I will say I will miss Bob in our meetings, giving us the information on the health fair. I did talk to him the other day and he's doing well. Had some changes to the way he's being treated and he thinks it's helping. So,
Good.
and for those of you that didn't hear, he was going to ride with us. I'd asked him to ride with us on the float. I told him it's kind of one of your last going away things. And he goes, I'm not dead. I'm like, okay, noted. But you didn't get to leave in a way with us together. So, and he pulled a muscle in his back Friday
Aw.
morning. So he couldn't come out. He called me and we talked for a while. So, but he's going to come to one of our meetings and harass us. So that'll be good.
So at our last meeting, I think we brought it up about maybe honoring him at the city council meeting and giving him some kind of a plaque or something, for his service.
I'll talk to Cecily about that.
And if we knew what day it was going to be, we could all show up.
Yeah. I'll talk to her and see what.
Okay.
Okay. Ames Creek Restoration.
Well, if you haven't been out there, I mean, Greg can probably talk more to what the guys have been doing. So we've talked about, we're partnering with the South Sandium Watershed Council to do that DEQ project. So I highly recommend, well, if you hadn't seen it before, so on the school side, right behind the senior center, there used to be the old log pond. Well, it's been overgrown for many years, reed canary grass, which is invasive, as well as blackberry. So that is the area of the project. The guys have mowed it. They're going to be putting some weed fabric down to kind of kill it throughout the winter, right? Yeah, why don't you explain that part?
You'll probably do better than me. So this is based off, the wastewater plant was fined about a year and a half ago, about $22,000. I negotiated with them. And there's ways to work out of those. In other words, you do a supplemental environmental project, let's call it a SEEP project, where you then take that fine and then apply it to some other water quality or watershed project. And so that was approved, I don't know, over a year and a half ago, year ago, once we got that fine. It was originally 22,000. We negotiated down to, I think, paid $4,700, and the remainder of that funds then goes to some sort of restoration project. It has to be approved and in partnership with the Watershed Council. So we approached them. They drew up a contract of what the project could look like. That was submitted to DEQ with a letterhead from myself, asking for that to happen, and they approved it. It also takes a little bit longer. This isn't just like we go out and mow and do some things. It's a multi-year project. So the first year is we want to choke out everything. We want to cut it down. We want to mulch everything that's lying there, and then we're going to apply, because if it's a large flat area, we're going to be putting some sort of fabric that's made out of natural materials, and they'll basically roll this out on all the flat areas, and we'll put wood logs on top of it to hold it down. That'll stay in place for a year and just kind of mulch and do its thing and kill off seed and other things from growing. At the same time, all the banks and outlying areas around trees and some of those will then be sprayed. But if you've gone over there and looked, a lot of the vegetation that's there, it's been knocked down, but also cleaned up near some of the trees that are there. And so the trees are already remaining. There is some valuable land there that if we get it under control, then we can return that back to some sort of park area. I know there's a elevated area that's near on that side that maybe a picnic table or something like that. So it gives us an opportunity to kind of have a blank canvas once this is done. Now, with that said, a lot of the trees and everything will still be along Ames Creek. There'll still be some trees and other things along, and then we'll go back in after we get everything choked out, and then there'll be a replanting, I think, in a couple of years. So it's, like I said, it's a multi-year project where we first get a handle on the vegetation, then we come back in and do some planting and then maintaining and so forth.
So it used to be a log pond?
Yeah, way back in the day, yeah. When they took that out, it just got overgrown. I mean, you can't miss it. It was the piece right behind the senior center. Just lots of trees, lots of, when I used to survey it, we would find people camping in there. And so they had, Public Works had cleaned it up, but obviously reed canary grass is just a bear. It's almost worse than blackberry sometimes. But, so a lot of that, and I was surprised by how much land is there once it got cleared.
Yeah.
There's actually quite a bit there, and it'll be really nice to add that aesthetic, on that side of the creek.
Is
So
that on the area where we were going to put a bridge in at one time, or is it?
that's at the
downstream?
very end of it? Yeah.
Okay.
So the very end, like right behind. So I would say it's more west of the senior center, not
Okay.
right behind it. So
Yeah.
it's more west of it than,
Okay.
The property butts right up to where that crossing was, like
Yeah.
during Jamboree. It's
Okay.
right, that's the corner of it, right at the creek.
Okay. And there's no plan to refill it into a pond?
no.
No, that ship sailed
Okay.
when they took the dam out. You'll never get a dam back in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a challenge?
Yeah.
We're still trying to figure out how to remove the concrete from that.
Yeah.
So Scott, do you have a picture of what it used to look like when it was the pond there
I think we do.
in your files? Yeah, I know that Donna at Res Rock, she has one on her wall, and it's pretty cool to look at it, what it used to look like.
I think I have one.
I think we have one somewhere
Yeah,
too. If,
give me a
I
minute.
mean, the new era probably has
Yeah.
one, but I know we have one.
It's really neat to look at that picture.
Because when they did the restoration project, actually the South Sandy Watershed Council helped out with that too, because I have the plaque in
Oh,
my
yeah.
office, but, and they took pictures of it before they did all that restoration work in there, so.
So what is the story on the bridge? Is that history?
Yeah, there it is.
So, yep, that's what it looked like right there.
And that was also the first jamboree.
Oh,
So you can see that island that we're talking about.
Wow.
I don't remember there being that much water there.
Yeah, so most of that is now land besides where the river, the creek flows through there, so.
What year is that
And the,
picture
and
taken?
the community center.
Oh, I can't remember. Hang on, I can't read
Wow.
it that far away.
Isn't that cool?
That's amazing.
But that was quick, Adam. Pull that up. It's cool.
1992.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Wasn't that long ago then?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, so
And
it's,
that was also one of the first years of Weddle Bridge being placed there as well.
Mm.
It was early in its current placement.
yeah, and I think that's right around the time that they did all the restoration work around the riparian zones when they took the dam out.
So all the trees and stuff that are there along the creek now, were they planted or they're all natural?
Some of them were planted as part of the restoration. I actually have copies of the restoration plan that they did. And then some have naturally, like willow, it will naturally grow on its own, and some of the other ones. Part of, trees can't really be taken out along the creek bed unless they're invasive or danger trees. They can be limbed up because it is a protected stream. And so the stream shade is extremely important in that. And so we've been working, Public Works and the beaver that we had a while ago helped us trim, which, Dominic was happy about. But, but it is important to keep that vegetation there. But we do a lot of control because it can get a little thick in there, and been trying to balance that out between what we have to do for the ESA requirements and actually just the invasive species that happen to get in there all the time. So, but so far it looks very nice, and there's a huge piece of land now that we can utilize once we get a hold of all that invasive.
And keeping that cleaned up has solved some other issues in that piece of property as well. It's just so dense and hidden that,
Yeah.
there's covered areas near parks, and it just opens everything up.
Yeah, that is a lot more land than I expected it to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I recommend you can just walk right behind the baseball field, like right between the senior center and the baseball field. It's right there.
I'm just
So-
flabbergasted. I coached baseball all those years and I never realized all that was there. And I've been in the park cleaning up and with kids down at the stream and I never identified that. I think because it's so overgrown and dark back in there.
Yeah, take a look at it now. Like I said, it's multi-year, but it's opened up. You can walk through there. It might have grown a little bit, but
I went
you can
there the
see
other
all the
day.
limbing and it's just rough maintenance and chipping and things like that going on.
Right.
So, but it's all open. You can walk all the way through it.
It is a little wet in the spring, so,
Yeah.
but I walked in there, earlier this week or last week, and it was dry. I walked through there, so.
Okay. All right, let's move on to new business, safety fair report. I think it was a big success again this year. Even with the weather being a little damp here and there in it, it was still a good turnout. We had a lot of people come by the booth. Talked to a lot of people about the parks that are out there. Still surprised how many people don't know the parks in Sweet Home. So we gave out a lot of brochures and give some people some guidance on it. I think that went well.
And congratulations, Aaron, on your daughter winning a bike.
That was my little guy,
Little
Chance.
guy, sorry.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
5 years old, and he went through, and they were really excited to get all the stamps, and yeah,
That's
he's
cool.
pretty excited.
But I say we should continue to support that effort, getting people into the parks, physically fit, a safe place for kids to play, and a safe place for people to walk. I think that's a good thing that lines up with the safety aspect of the safety fair. All right, now for you criminals, let's go over the committee media policy. I'm sure we've, oh, I
Okay,
got it.
oh,
Yeah.
open.
So I did email you a copy of this, and I've also provided you with a hard copy. So just as a reminder, is kind of what this is that you're on the Park and Tree Committee, but you're also, you're representing a city committee. But you need to be careful about and you can probably do this better than me because you helped do this, but you need to be cautious about making comments to the public when you're not in this meeting and representing the city. So it's more than just, and being a spokesperson. So it should always come back if somebody is wanting to interview or information, it should, come back to staff and have a conversation with staff first before any of that.
So don't talk to me outside this meeting.
Scott, you can call us and say, hey.
Refer
You-
Scott to staff outside of this meeting.
Depending on what role he has.
Yeah.
So, what hat he's wearing for the day.
I just like to say, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you guys have caught it, but usually when I respond to somebody on Facebook, I just respond to them as a person on Facebook. I don't identify myself as part of the Park and Tree Committee 99% of the time. I just say, hey, I happen to have some insight. I know this. This is what's going on, like with I can't think of the name of it. Our wilderness park over by
Hobart.
Hobart. We had one of those the other day, and I answered the person's questions and was able to give them everything. But I don't identify that I have any link to the city whatsoever at all. So,
And don't hesitate. I mean, I normally don't, but lately I've been just giving out the phone number for the office, but don't hesitate to give people my email and my phone number. Just have them contact me if they have questions. So
Or any of us, whoever's the appropriate person.
yeah. So when I get my next FBI call, who should I? Okay. Got it.
Park and tree stuff, you can do me. Anything else, direct it elsewhere.
Okay. So we do have an open Park and Tree Committee position. Do we have any applicants already in for that?
I believe there are a couple.
I haven't checked with Cecily lately.
Yeah, I'll check with Cecily. I believe there's a couple. We're hoping to have a few more. So if you know anyone, we have been advertising it on social media. I believe it's on our website. Direct anyone to that link. They can apply directly from our website.
Yep.
And then, yeah, if you have anybody in mind, share that post, get the word
Okay.
out. We'd
I've
like
seen the
to.
post on Facebook.
Yeah, once we get applications in, then they schedule a admin finance meeting, and that's it goes through there.
Yep.
So-
That's kind of why we'd like to have a few more. Admin and finance doesn't meet very often. They only meet as needed.
Yeah.
And so if we're going to get them together, we like to make it all the bang for the buck.
Right.
So what's the finance part have to do with the interview?
That's just the committee that does the interviews,
I think it's
Interesting.
admin and finance.
admin and finance.
Oh,
And then they send their recommendation to the council.
Okay. Turn this over because there's more on the back.
You can skip the English Ivy one.
Yeah.
We already talked about it.
We do need, I've got a couple new ones, but our new business, we do need to figure out who the vice chair is going to be. Because with Bob's absence, we lost that position.
well, let's nominate Lena.
I second that.
That was
I
easy.
Third that nomination.
Done. Love ya.
Congratulations.
So
Vote.
can we take a vote on that? And should we do that all together or separate?
You can do it all together. That's fine.
All together. So all in favor of Lena Tucker being the vice chair for life for the Park and Tree Committee, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. I reckon that's in effect.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay. I haven't heard anything on Corey Park recently. Has anything moved forward with that, or is it still a campground and
It is no longer a campground.
no longer a campground? Okay, because I've been watching And I don't see anybody in there. So
No, so, Building Codes Division actually, has some rules about there's specific requirements if we're going to have even dispersed camping of what we have to allow as far as amenities. And we don't have the capability to install some of those things. So we had to pull the camping, because otherwise we would be violating, building code rules and state policy. So.
yeah, I wasn't aware of that. I look at it every morning to see if somebody spent the night. And I don't see anything.
If you see somebody spending the night, please call the PD.
Yeah.
Public Works spends a lot of energy. If you've noticed, there's a lot of big rocks that keep them funneled to the area of parking
Yeah.
so they can come in and out. We don't want anybody beyond that because people that are getting past that, pushing rocks, pushing the gate open are kind of creating havoc on the property. And it's
Yeah.
usually at nighttime. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But folks can still walk in, go
Yes.
fishing, hike. Okay.
The parking area is still open.
Yeah.
Like Greg said, there's some big rocks that it's pretty easy to find your way to the parking. Follow the rocks. If you
So-
drive over a big rock, you went the wrong direction.
So yeah, I've seen that too. We drive out there, but so, doesn't matter, but so it's still a park. Is the porta potty gonna stay?
Yeah, we're doing that just because people are using it. There's sanitation concerns. If we don't put trash cans, if we don't put sanitation, then
Yeah.
we get the other side of that. So that's for the community to use and hopefully keep sanitation somewhat nice down there.
And it's officially not a park.
Oh, I know.
Officially not.
Yeah.
So then we take Quarry Park back. I mean, it's deleted.
I think it's still,
That's
Okay,
the unofficial, that is the unofficial name.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We've never had an official name for it. I know that.
Joe Graybill actually coined that a long
Yeah.
time ago, and we've all just stuck with it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I will continue to use that because it's a good way to reference it at least,
Mhm.
but
But that's still where we keep the bark mulch and that stuff down there.
Yeah, there's a lot of recycling that goes down there. We take a lot of our yard waste, our leaves when that happens during that time of year. But this time grass, right? We're mowing everything, we're trimming everything up. And so that all goes there and then gets trimmed up at the end of the year. Or burned, whatever we don't use.
Yeah.
Ivy.
Sanitation.
yeah. I use optics and look at that every morning down there, just as a curiosity. What's going on? Gives me something to do. Okay. Next question, park on 42nd. Does that come to a complete stall? Or is there, I know we were waiting, we had a grant for some
We had
swing
the,
set stuff, or is that all? No?
no, we had a design.
we had
So,
a design.
Yeah, there was a plan that, but unfortunately, due to budget restraints, we're not able to do that at this point. There is
Okay.
still a plan, there's
Okay.
still the design there, but just, after going through all of the budget, after, we did some transitioning, we realized that we just can't do that right now. So
Okay.
it's not gone, but
Yeah.
it's just on hold until we can figure that out.
The grant was not actually obtained.
Okay,
So
got it.
it was a hopeful grant.
Yeah. Okay, I drive by there all the time and just look, and it looks like it's at least staying clear.
Yeah, there was no funding for offsites and that had to occur, right? Curb, we have our own codes we have to follow, right? Curb
Yeah.
and gutter, we have to storm drain, water, sewer amenities, those all would have to been installed and those costs would have
Yeah.
been extremely expensive. And I think it wasn't accounted for in that grant.
Right.
So,
So is there another plan or something else that would make sense in that area? I mean, I understand that it's still a plan, but is there another option that makes sense or no?
So the original intent of harvesting that timber was for a fire break.
Right.
So that goal has been achieved. So I think right now the current plan is just maintaining that fire break.
Right.
And then we'll see what the future holds as far as funding goes.
Okay.
Did you get any feedback from the community about now that all the trees are gone and and did they ask, where's the park or anything? No?
I had one person reach out to me and we just explained, they're like, okay, but you're keeping it maintained and they understood. So
That's good.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the three people that were upset about it, I've talked to them a couple times, and since nothing was happening, they were happy. So,
Since we're talking about parks, I have a question about Clover Park. I had been told that they might reconfigure that park so that it's lower down, that take off the top of it or whatever. Right now, that's our worst area for beautification. That having the flowers on the slope like that, they just aren't doing very well. And it needs like a planter type area, where we can put some good soil in there and actually have it work. Because right now it's it's our worst area. So I'm just saying, if you are gonna reconfigure that park, please let us know because,
We talked about that a long time ago.
yeah,
yeah, 2 years ago, we were looking at lowering that down, right, Greg? And there was a water structure that was there in concrete. Yeah,
It is still there. There's, if you've ever walked behind all that rock that's
Yeah.
piled up, there's kind of a circular concrete. The concrete's deteriorating. The concrete between the giant rocks as it's formed, it's deteriorating, it's gotten past probably 50 years, I
Right.
would imagine, or if it was a bad batch. But, concrete only lasts so long, it starts returning back to sand. But inside that, there's a circular flange that actually came out of the dam. I don't even know how we're going to get, if we ever do anything, we figure out how to get that out of there. It's going to take a large crane and a large piece of equipment. So if you ever get a chance to just get up close and look at what that old fountain was made of, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Wow.
Yeah.
might have to use something like we used to move the Dallenbeck Bridge. Would that be big enough or no? Or you don't know?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you can imagine and I don't know the diameter, but let's say 10 feet, 12 feet diameter,
Yeah,
solid steel flange, like you
Yeah.
bolt flanges up
Yep.
and the thickness of it is at least this big.
wow.
And the hole for the bolts, it's about that big. And so
Mhm.
you can imagine the size of this, and there's probably 50 bolts that should go around it or more. I mean, it's just the size of this. And so I know we want to do some cleanup there, but it's going to take a little bit of deconstruction, I think, when we ever get to that point. And I don't know if it's on our list. I think we've got a couple other parks.
Oh, yeah.
In front of that. But I think ultimately, I think people would like to see that cleaned up so you can see in. A planter would be much better at that time.
Right.
Because right behind the flag, there is a big sump box. If you've ever walked up in there, there's a concrete vault
Yeah.
that goes underneath. That's why it's all built up. So there is wires, there's all kinds of plumbing and things that just don't work there anymore. And they've been filled in. That was a pond or some sort of fountain, quit working, so they filled it with dirt and whatever. So
Yep.
that's kind of where it's at.
Okay. That answers that question. Thank you.
Interesting.
And the last park is the City Hall Park. Are we still on hold for this one over here? We had a possible supplier that was waiting on prices
That-
to come down, or the Chinese to
Yeah,
ship us
we-
something?
We no longer have that option, so
Okay.
it's still same thing. It's just budget at this
Okay.
point. Because a lot of it, like Greg said, even at 42nd, but here there also has to be the infrastructure that gets put in.
Yeah.
So the pathways and different, so it's not just dropping a playground in,
Right.
so, and we've got to be able to have the funds to be able to do the rest of it as well.
Yep. How
So,
about the dog part? Do you have to do the same things for a dog park?
well, we put the dog park in at Northside
Yeah.
but yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's good to
But
know.
my-
Well, and we also, so part of that may not be available anymore. And Adam, you can correct me because we are now renting
Mm.
the other side of our building, and part of that lease is some of our area back there.
Mm.
It's
Okay.
there.
The rear field area
Yeah.
is now leased out.
Okay.
So that whole half is no longer available.
Yeah. I just, a personal opinion of mine, I don't know that we need another dog park in town because that one stays busy, but it's not overwhelming. And then there is the dog park at Sunnyside. So
And we-
you have,
We do have doggy bags next door already, and people already bring their dogs out. We
Yeah.
see several folks daily that are traveling over the pass that'll swing by, take a picture of the bridge and let their
Right.
dogs run.
Yep.
So it's kind of an unofficial dog park.
Yeah. And I
So-
would say, I think that bridge idea still has paid
Yeah,
off
it's really-
benefits. It is really visible
I like
and
it.
I do see people stop and look at that. So
Mhm.
another win, plus it cleaned up an area there by Sankey. So that was a good move.
So I thought somebody donated money very specifically for this
No.
part. They didn't?
No,
No, they were proposing to.
Oh,
Then yes, all the supply chain stuff happened and then just that option went away. So
so upcoming, I know we have the safety fair and then right after that, we hit the Harvest Festival. And again, we're the pie people. And I've got one judge already. So I think we'll do well. I know when I talk to Bauer, he'll be all in, be a pie judge again. And this year, I propose that we take a look at our number of entries as we get closer to determine if we need to separate two sets of pie judges and maybe have a few more based off kids versus adults. Because
right.
the last year, I think we had 23 pies, something like that. That was a lot of pieces for people to taste.
So there is a limit to 2 per person, but there was like a
Okay.
family that all
Yeah.
of their family did too. So, and just to, so you're aware, I have not opened it up yet. We're launching a new website. So I'm waiting for our new website. It's supposed to be sometime this week, but of course, everything, when you're uploading something new, there's always some hurdles to get through. So as soon as that gets uploaded, I will be opening up for registration for the pie contest. But right now it is limited to 2. But again, you still get people, their whole family is entering too. And then,
Yeah.
So you guys, however you want to do that, just let me know and we'll make sure to get the supplies for that. So,
Sure. Yeah, I'll work on the judges. I think Larry would like to be one.
Yeah.
So I think we have plenty of, the judging opportunities are, since we've done it multiple years and have contacts, that was used to be the problem and now it's pretty easy to come up with the number of judges we need. So,
I think Councilman Aaron would like to judge.
Gritting his teeth.
are you a pie fanatic?
I like pie, but that sounds like a lot of pie to eat.
Yeah,
Just
we're gonna
little taste.
Yeah, you don't
Quality.
get a whole slice.
Yeah.
Just a little
Oh,
chunk.
okay.
Yeah.
I could fast for a few days before. So
There you go. We actually had somebody that suffers the same as I do from too much sugar in their system causes problems, and they were a pie judge one year. They weren't the pie judge the next year. So great guy, but he couldn't do it 2 years in a row. Also, the beautification committee would like to partake in that event that day and set up, at least share the table with us. I can bring a bigger table for some, notoriety that, hey,
There-
we're out here and we're part of this all together too.
So there's also an opportunity, if it's just a booth, Candace, I can leave it up to you all. But the city has a booth
Yeah.
and usually the chamber goes right next to them. So beautification could also set up next to the city booth.
Yep.
So there's a stretch that we do kind of the
Mhm.
commit, like chamber, city.
Right.
We haven't had, but we can put beautification committee next to the city. So it ties in
Yeah.
instead of being inundated by the pie contest, they might
Right.
get kind of drowned out by
Yeah.
the contest booth. So I'll leave it up to you guys, how you want to do that, but I can make room. There's still
Yeah.
room right now
Okay.
to fit them in there.
Because that's usually where we put our park maps and other info is with
Yeah.
the city. So since we just deal with
And if you'd like to do that, we could help you set up if you need help that day.
I will find someone to do that because I won't be here.
Oh,
Okay.
Ashley will probably do it. Because she always goes anyway.
When do you have the next meeting? Because I decided I wanted to talk to you guys.
Hold on, sir. Hold on one second.
When can I come back to?
Yes.
it's
I can do it now?
Well, yeah, I just need.
Well,
yeah, we got lots of time.
yeah, we're fine.
Just state your name and address for the record.
Oh, no
It's
problem.
okay.
You got to follow the actual procedural stuff. Otherwise they yell at you like they do me.
So just state your name and address for the record, please.
Okay. My name is Marvin Holt, 1715 Fir Street. What I'm concerned with is the South Hills Trail. I use the South Hills Trail multiple times a day. Deborah knows, she's my neighbor. Anyway, couple things. I hope if you have any control over this, I don't want the public works or anybody to ever spray any herbicides along that trail. That's totally, people walk their dogs on the trail. They don't need to have their dogs getting into herbicide sprayed areas, right? And another thing is up in the upper part of the trail between Fifth Avenue and the First Avenue bench, there's a big gap now where a bunch of trees have been removed. And I don't know if that was whose land that was, if it was private. But it'd be nice, that gap would be nice if you planted some trees now on the part that still belongs to the city adjacent to the trail to kind of fill that back in, because it looks terrible when you get up past Fifth Avenue and you see that big open thing above Upper Fourth, And I don't know what you could plant a row of, some Douglas fir seedlings or something along there that could grow up and eventually fill it in. I don't know where the private property ends and the city property, where they butt up.
Right.
And and that would help if a person knew that. But it's just, I've been walking the trail for quite a few years now. I don't remember that gap ever being that big. I didn't walk during the winter up there because it's too muddy, and that's understandable. But anyway, now I've noticed this summer, when you get past just above Dr. Walthius's house on up there's a big, huge gap. No more trees. They're all gone. And there was even a patch of blackberry briars. Looks like somebody sprayed them. Now, Dominic told me that if the city would have done that, they wouldn't have sprayed just a little patch, like about the size of your desk right there. And so somebody's been up there spraying because they're all wilted,
Mm-hmm.
Just one little patch. But anyway, if there's some way that gap could be filled in, because people walk that trail, it's you want it to have a commune with nature kind of a vibe, where you got trees everywhere except that one gap right above Upper Fourth. It looks terrible, that one spot, So
Okay.
if that's anything that you guys are interested in, and
How long is the trail? What do you think?
It's
well,
it's about
I'd
half.
say from Elm Street to there's a bench above Upper First, right above where Jerry Woolley's house where the house where Jerry Woolley used to live. There's a bench, and I'd say it's probably a little more than a mile up to there.
Okay.
But you walked up that far, haven't you? Don't you think so? It takes me I live between 17th and 18th on Fir, and takes me from there to that bench takes me half hour to walk up there to normal speed, and a half hour to get back.
So I have a question for you about the clearing. Is it on the hillside where it's cleared?
It's on the city side. It's on if you're walking up the trail and you're going whatever direction that is.
Hey, Marvin.
When the city's off to your right, there's a and then and the county land is off to your left. People outside the city limits off to your left. Well, there's a driveway crosses the trail, goes up to one house. And just up there a little ways, you can't miss it. It's a huge gap. It's just.
So are you talking about, Marvin, is it up on top of the bench there? Is it about a quarter mile past the driveway? Uh-huh. Right.
She just lives in
Right.
straight up from their houses. You got this big gap. No more trees, no more anything.
I think that might be private property.
Private.
You think
Is
the
that,
property can
yeah.
run to the
Yeah,
trail?
well,
Yeah.
like I have a map showing up, you can kind of see.
Because there's no city land.
So only the trail itself is public. The rest of it, yeah. So anything
if they
about
wanted to, they could build a fence right there.
up to the property line.
Up to the property line.
There's a gap there. I mean, they got the railroad, the trail you walk on, then there's a gap of 20 feet or so, at least to the back fence of all those houses on there.
The fences aren't necessarily the property line,
That
though.
is true. That
Yeah.
is true. That could be.
Well, and from Holly Road to roughly almost behind First Avenue, to Holly Road is all private property also. So the actual trail itself stops right behind First Avenue. So it doesn't go,
right,
I mean,
yeah.
people have walked through there, but that is now private property. It's not
Well,
part of the
you
trail.
can walk up to, there's a trail that breaks off on Vista Lane. You can
Yeah.
walk up there and go to, and the people that live at 1020 Vista.
Mhm.
I talked to her and she said, oh, you're going down there and there's their house. And if you want to walk that far, you can make a hard right and walk back and walk along the edge of their driveway. You can go down this real steep embankment that hits it. And they're both on, and all that's on their property, 1020 Vista's property. And she says, we would prefer you don't walk down that trail that goes, that's really steep because it's potentially dangerous. But she said, if you want to walk back around and walk along the edge of our driveway, you know, I can't remember what her name is, but she
Okay.
said, yeah. She,
Well, we'll have Public Works take a look at it, but I think the area you're talking about is private. And so
Private, all right
there's
up to
nothing
the edge
that
of
we
the-
can
right
do.
up to the edge of the trail. There's
Yep.
no room there to plant any, you know,
No, if it's on their private property, it's up to them. So we don't have any say in that. So.
that sucks.
Yeah, that whole stretch is a little bit hard to access.
Mhm.
I mean, you have to cross that Vista property, the
Yeah.
Vista Lane property he's just
Pardon?
talking about.
Well, Vista Lane is actually in the private
Yeah.
property, so it's, that whole part of
Yeah.
it's in the county.
I'm just-
So
yeah.
just past First Avenue, it enters county property, so it's
Right.
no longer our property.
That
Yeah.
steep trail is the one that frankly everybody's used for decades.
Yeah. A couple years ago, you could go all the way to what we call, I don't know, the Ames Cemetery
Yeah.
Lane. And the house at the very back of the Ames Cemetery Lane was vacant.
Right.
And you could just drop down the embankment
Right.
there and walk down Ames Cemetery Lane to Holly Road. And if you wanted to, but then somebody moved into that house and they fenced it off, so you can't take that route anymore. So you got the choice of taking the one down Vista or just reversing yourself.
Yeah.
all the way back.
I know, like a lot of people I know people have used the cemetery to get onto the trail, you know, it's cross the cemetery and then they climb up to the trail
Yeah.
from there, but you're crossing private property. no
Yeah,
matter
you're
what.
technically trespassing twice
That
on
guy-
I know, well,
The very last house, if you're going up Ames
Mhm.
Cemetery Lane, there's a house way in the very
Mhm,
back.
mhm.
I think, I can't remember who used to live there because they never got delivery. But, that house sat vacant for several years and then somebody moved into it. It's a nice structure. And
Right.
then they fenced everything or closed this. We don't want you crossing our
Yeah.
property.
But that, unfortunately,
But
there was a lot of potential for the road trail because
The
until the
Vista Lane
county gave
people-
that property back to the property owner.
the people on the
back
end of
in the
Vista Lane
80s.
are really nice. So 1020 Vista
Yeah.
Lane, it used to be Steve Rude used
There's-
to live there. I don't know who lives there now. I can't remember their name, but
Yeah.
they were super nice people. And they said, yeah, just don't go down that steep embankment. We don't want anybody getting hurt.
Yeah.
Come back and you can walk along the edge of it. But
So let's bring this kind of
Right.
back to city business. So I appreciate your comment. We will have Public Works go and take a look at that stretch to see whether
nice
it's
if you could
public.
Just have a road tree.
Yeah,
or something.
well, if it's private property, we
You
can't do
but
anything
you're
about it,
saying that
so.
The trail ends as soon as.
I
you
don't,
step-
so I don't know. We'll have Public Works go out and take a look at it. And so again, there may not be anything that we can do about it because we can't tell private property owners how
Sure,
to do
sure.
that.
There's
So,
they got
so-
they got a big dirt mound there now.
okay.
on
Well, we'll
the
have our,
cities.
we'll have our Public Works go take a look at it. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah,
We
I'm sure
appreciate it.
They'll do a good job. Yeah, Dominic seems like a fine young man.
Okay.
Thank you, Marvin, for bringing
Thank
that
you,
up.
Marv.
Thank you.
Sure, I want that, I care about the South Hills Trail more than anything. Because I use it twice a day and.
Yeah.
And, anyway, and like I say, and just to reiterate on, please, if you got any control of it, no herbicide sprayed on that trail. If they want to brush hog it once a year or something, knock back the berry briars and all that stuff, great. That's natural, but herbicides on the ground where our dogs walk, you know, that's bad.
Yep.
You know, you don't want your dog walking on, you know,
Right.
where there's been herbicide sprayed. I mean, they get it in their paw pads and most dogs' paw pads are, you know, already rough from walking outside and that's not, so anyway.
Yep.
If
Thank
you
you.
have any control over that,
Sure.
thank you.
All right. Thank you, Marvin.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Marvin.
Thanks for coming to the meeting.
One more thing.
Rise.
One more thing.
Okay. Next new item. Nancy has something.
Are we in the, round table?
Oh, yeah, we've been in roundtable. It's surrounded, went back
Yeah.
rectangular.
So, I just wanted to talk about two things. First, I want to talk about Cut the Gut. I know I was voted out for doing that, but we went on Cut the Gut And I wanted to tell you that I think at one of our meetings, why we decided not to do that, there wasn't enough room at Sankey Park to turn. That is not true. Some of the places that we went to, unbelievable trying to get in and out. And I mean, I've envisioned it, how we would do it, going down the street, turning in that parking area, not the one by the bridge, but the main parking. So next year, I'd like to revisit that again, because I think that would be a real plus for our committee, to do it at Sankey Park. That's my opinion on that one.
So Nancy, just a comment to that. So we had Carla Hogan and Adam brought his car down to try to turn around in there. So it wasn't just somebody saying that it doesn't work. There was actually cars that came around and did the loop through there and it didn't work.
Well,
So-
no, if you went up 12th Street and then turned on whatever that one street is that goes over to go by the park, 14th or
I
whatever,
cannot make that turn.
down the street.
Way too, yeah, way too tight for an older car with no power steering. Will not make it.
Need
That's
to hit the
odd.
gym.
Yeah, because I mean, some of the places,
Max lock. That's all she wrote.
well, I can talk to them because some of the places we went, it was hard to get your car in and out and we still did it. Like the State Farm. Yeah, that was one place it was hard. Anyway,
I would just be concerned with doing the parade the morning after the night of doing Cut the Gut. I think we're jamming a lot of
Yeah.
things in, but we'll cover that next
I
year.
understand. I'm just saying that,
Yeah.
I think that needs to be relooked at too.
But also just a reminder that your actual, as a park and tree committee, yes, education and activities. But it is not a city program. And yes, having, being able to do some of these things, you have to keep in mind city budget and city time also. And we can't do every single event and the focus needs to be on your powers and duties and the education portion of
Well, we
that. So-
understand that too, but we've been paying for a lot of stuff out of our pocket, which is fine.
Well, and just a reminder, you were encouraged already. If you, Nancy Patton, want to do a checkpoint, you
Right.
can. As a
But
private
What I
person.
brought up was that it didn't seem like it was hard to turn around.
Yeah.
Going up one street, cutting over and going through the park. Just compared it to the other things. This is my first year I went on. I usually had my store and I would do the checkpoint at my store. So I experienced what it was like to go in and out of places.
Okay,
Okay.
what's your other one?
Talking about the parade, I just think that was a really plus thing. Again, like Andrew said, that wasn't part of the city thing, but actually it was. We had council on there, we had us on there, we had beautification, and it was tremendous thing that we did. And so we're all believing we're gonna keep doing that kind of stuff. And maybe even do an Lebanon parade, different things like that, because
Mhm.
people need to know, who we are. And it was really good. I know council walked along the float. They passed out brochures and candy, got to know people. So that was a real plus. And again, even though we paid for it out of our own pocket, I think we're all willing to do that again.
Yep,
Because
I
it
think the
represents the city.
parade was fun and we passed out a lot of brochures to people that didn't know about the parks again, that's the key. We get that information out there. And people got squirted. That was a big plus. I actually saw somebody's post, which I assumed was based off our parade, is who do we call to get a lawyer for getting soaked in the parade? They were laughing.
Yes.
It was a lot of responses on that. So
Most people raised their hand. We told the kids not to squirt unless they got permission. And then once they got permission, I think all of them, including Matthew, bombarded them.
yeah.
But it was fun.
Lena, you have something.
Just want to thank the Public Works guys for keeping up with the tree water bags. And they're working, as Deb found that the dogwood tree for Molly is wet and moist, and that'll be very good during the heat of summer. And I'd also like to thank the New Era for such an extensive article on
That was good.
the positive slow watering of trees during the heat of summer.
And does the heat of summer have anything to do with right before Hoy's there? I think it's the Gleaners have trees with white bags over the trees.
Yeah.
I just saw that today.
Over the top of them?
I'm not, I, unless they're trying to protect them from aphids or
Birds.
bugs or
Oh.
birds, that's the first time I've seen that. And I'm like, what is that?
Okay.
I will explore that one. Yeah.
Aaron, do you know what it is?
No,
No.
it's been there for a while though.
I know.
but I'm not
Yeah, I
sure.
keep looking at them wondering, like, is that just big spiders put that over there? Or
That's my first thought was, oh boy.
yeah. Okay. Any others?
Chair, I got something if we have a few minutes.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Maybe Adam, could you pull up Google Maps for Strawberry Park? I just want to share something real quick. Something I did a couple years ago, back before I started my work. It's of Strawberry Park. Can you drag?
Which,
Um,
is there a specific area
so-
or just the overhead?
Can you drag the little street view onto the park? Do you have street view?
I don't know if I have in the park. Yeah, there's a few spots in the
Yeah.
park.
So this
Okay.
is
You can direct me from
Yeah.
here.
So all these photos I took, and actually you can move around the park as if you're on Google Maps anywhere else, you know. Basically I have a 360-degree camera.
Yeah.
And I went out, I mean, this was, I don't know if there's a date, yeah, 2021. Went out and took a bunch of
Nice.
photos and kind of built this together with a program. And I just want to share with you, you know, that is there. There's links where you can actually share the
Thank you.
the view. I'd like to get on and, you know, do the other parks as well. It's just time wise, I got busy, but
Nice.
yeah, it hasn't been updated because the planters aren't there. But
Yeah.
I just thought it was a cool way, you know, for people to be able to see what we offer for certain
Yeah.
parks without actually being here. But yeah, so my goal is when I have time to, you know, go out and do Sankey, especially with the new equipment.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I just want to share that
Excellent.
real quick. But
They got to get the new
Excellent.
bandstand in there too. We're breaking ground on it next week, I think, right?
So you know what? I think that's a really good idea. If
I
you
think
had
it's
like
great.
a laptop and put a DVD or a thumb drive or whatever in it and show people, you know, have ongoing, not just our brochures, but show people what it actually looks like.
Mm.
I think that's a really good idea.
Can we count his hours from 21? No. Thank you. That is neat.
no problem.
That
Thanks,
is
thanks,
great.
Adam.
I appreciate your time doing it. And it's neat to know it's there because I had no idea.
Yeah. At the time I had a camera and a lot of free time, and I think COVID was going on, so
Yeah.
Thank you.
being out in the park.
Yeah.
A
But
lot of lawn to mow.
yeah,
Did you use the 360 GoPro?
I have a different camera, but it
Okay.
is 360, so you can look up, down. If you
Yeah.
go into that little play structure, there's
Yeah.
actually two photos there where I took one from like the top. Yeah. So look, if you, so
Oh,
that's
yeah.
one from the top and the bottom. But my goal was to do like Sankey Park, you know, the whole structure, the Whittle Bridge, all that. But yeah, it is very time consuming, not just taking the photos, but then editing and sorting them and all that. But yeah, I just want to share that.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, my son got one of those 360 GoPros for Christmas, and then skiing, he has it on his helmet,
wow.
and he did a backflip. I almost got sick watching it because it doesn't make sense what's up and down. So they're pretty amazing.
Mm.
Yeah, thank you. Any others? That concludes our July 16th, 2025 Park and Tree Committee. We will see you at the Safety Fair. Thank you.
Great.
Keep cool.